something that is being considered in the East End study is, shouldn't there be some sort of mid-block linkage through to Queen Victoria Street? It struck me when I was just drawing this little scribble is that if we did have a mid-block linkage through to Queen Victoria Street, and we also perhaps set aside some of the car park land as open space, maybe it's like maybe a town square, maybe it's a small park where kids can play and the like while parents are having coffee, etc., then we're starting to talk about the sorts of elements that go together to make up a local community space. There must be many different versions of this design. I mean, you could have the mid-block through here and open this area right up. You could have more open space than West Building. The issue of the building there is really what can council afford to do off its own budget, and whether it could generate money out of what is freehold land, and we don't own a lot of vacant freehold land, and utilise that to do improved facilities at the aquatic centre and improved urban design facilities in terms of Finity Street and the like. And I don't think there is any intent at all on council. There's no resolution on the book that says we're about to develop that land. But I can understand why you might perceive that the way the East End study has been going suggests that there is a development about to happen. Or the intent is we want the whole car park turned into housing. I mean, you know, as I said at the beginning, I go to the leisure centre. You take that car park away and you don't replace it with anything, the leisure centre is dead tomorrow. I'm not going to do that. I don't believe the council is about to do that. I mean, I don't, you know, we might make it the occasional silly decision, but we're not complete buffoons.
I'm very excited by what Andrew's describing about having a sort of a focus for our community in that area. But it's whether we can deliver it in another way, as Audrey suggested. Underground car parking would be ideal.
Exactly right.
And so maybe there's a way of council coming back to us on that.
My view, and I think this is a really good opportunity for us to look at what I think is actually a really unattractive bit of land and say, okay, what are the key principles? And what I'm hearing is we want to keep it in public ownership. I don't have a problem with that. We want to keep the same number of bays. I don't have a problem with that. So working with those principles, how can we then actually, taking a suggestion like Audrey's, actually make it a better site that has a better use, and actually the community gets a win out of it? And I guess that's a conversation we're starting, and I think it's clearly a far better use and a far better way that land can interact than currently exists.
We'd just like to have some idea of how we proceed from here, the role of the Park Association in partnership with the council.
And I guess what I'd like to say is, I want to reinforce, we haven't made any decisions. This is just something that we're exploring, and we really want to make this a conversation and not something where it's about opposition parties versus us, but actually working cooperatively to a solution where we actually get something that's better than the status quo, because I think we can. So thanks for that.
Well,
Thank you.
I'd like to sort of have some idea of how we can proceed from